Now that you've connected Alooma and Snowflake, you can get started by adding new inputs. Here in the plumbing screen, you can move to the top left of the screen and click Add New Input. You can see we have a lot of options out of the box, but if you don't see something here that you're trying to work with, of course you can do CSV files or JSON lines in an S3 bucket. You can send real-time events to a custom webhook, or you can use our REST API reader to actually read events at a periodic basis from whatever REST API you're working with. Maybe let's add Salesforce to get started. Once I hit connect to Salesforce, it's going to ask me to authenticate. I'm going to allow this. I'm going to give this a name. And you can see we have a few objects out of the box ready to replicate by default. You can of course remove or add the ones you prefer to work with. Once I'm finished, I hit create input. And I've successfully created a new input. Now, once you've created an input, within a few minutes you should start to see data replicating in the live view. Now, data errors are unavoidable, but you don't want that to stop your whole pipeline. So what Alooma does is it takes any erroneous events and pushes it to the restream queue. You'll get a notification, you'll be able to rectify the error, and then restream the erroneous events into Snowflake without issue. This won't stop good data from flowing, it'll just make sure you don't lose the bad data. At some point, you're probably going to need to transform or enrich your data, and you can do so in Alooma's code engine. Here, you have the ability to use Python code to split events, discard events, enrich the data with GeoIP resolution. Anything you can imagine with Python, you can do so here. You can even run tests by getting samples and running a test on the code directly here in the environment before you deploy it. For real-time events, such as those sent via the webhook or SDK, you should see those show up in Snowflake literally within seconds or minutes. It's very fast. For inputs such as Salesforce, MySQL, or other databases, it could take a little bit longer, 15 minutes or so before you start to see the data. Now that we've loaded Salesforce data, let's say I want to see where my leads are coming from, what's their source. Let's hop over to Snowflake to see a sample of the data from the Salesforce leads. Alright, looks like we've got some good information here. From here, you could use standard SQL queries or a BI tool to visualize your data. I'm going to hop over to Looker, and maybe I'll add my lead source detail here. And now I start to get a pretty good sense of where my leads are coming from. Now, that was a quick overview of how to get started with Alooma. There's a lot more power in the platform, and I recommend you check out our documentation on our website to learn a little bit more, or if you have any questions, reach out to us at support@alooma.com. Thanks.